Hello, everybody. Welcome to Optimism Fractal. We're here for our 26th event, which is our second event of season 3. I'm pleased to be here with my friends Abraham, Zaal, Hodlon, and Rosmari. We are talking about the benefits of Web3 and also about the Northern Lights and what's going on in the universe. So we have a interesting game and topic lined up for today's event, the first ever Optimism Town Hall that was recently approved in last week's event. So I'm going to share a little presentation to fill anybody in who's not familiar with Optimism Fractal and what's going on today. And then we'll also jump into the respect game as well. If anyone wants to say hello or anything like that, then feel free to do so. It's great to see you all. Thanks so much for being here. Really appreciate it. And thanks everybody for watching as well. If anyone's not familiar with Optimism Fractal, you can check out optimismfractal.com. We are planning to update the website a little bit, but there's a lot of great stuff here. Optimism Fractal is a community dedicated to fostering collaboration and awarding public goods, careers, and optimism. And we're growing optimism, working to create an abundant future and amazing experience for everybody. We host weekly events every Thursday at 7 UTC that provide a perfect place to network and make friends and collaborate with talented innovators in the Optimism Collective. So join us every Thursday at 17 UTC and also 18 UTC, which is when we host the town hall as well for anybody who's interested in joining. Each event we play the respect game. That's what our events are kind of oriented around, where participants share what they've been doing to help optimism and generally introduce themselves, and then collaborate to rank each other's contributions, and everybody receives a mystical respect token that you can learn more about here. And it's a great place to promote your work, since we produce videos of each weekly event, make wonderful artwork to help promote public goods creators, and work together to achieve the optimistic vision, which you can learn more about the links here. I'll also remind people too that we have a Notion site where you can get involved with different things. We have lots of projects that we're contributing to in an open source and collaborative manner, and everybody can earn funds by helping out contributing to Optimism Fractal, or there's many ways Optimism Fractal can help people earn funds with retro funding too, which you can find on these links, and there'll be more details coming soon. And we're also using our respect game to pioneer community governance and so forth. We have tools that we're building too, so all sorts of cool stuff. You can find that on optimismfractal.com. We're on season 3, as I mentioned. We approved a proposal a few weeks ago, about a month ago, to start our 3rd season and initiate the seasonal structure. And we had a great event last week that Rosmari produced the video and shared it in the Discord chat that we can check out. And now for our 26th event, you can see the Optimists tweeting about this event, where we'll be hosting the first ever Optimism Town Hall, which is another proposal that I approved, which is a collaborative forum focused on fostering structured discussions with respect that create a positive impact for Optimism Fractal and the Optimism Collective. Everyone can learn more and join the new event page here, and check out the tweet. Encourage you and appreciate likes and retweets and so forth to help spread the word. As I said, we produce videos at every week's event. So for example, you can watch the OF22, which was about a month ago, where we discussed retro funding opportunities with Optimism Fractal. And also over the spring break that we had, Rosmari produced a bunch of these videos too, for the joy of consensus and designing new consensus games, and also refining the respect game, and Attestation Nation, where we talked about the integrating with the Ethereum attestation service, or the EAS, integrating with POAPs and collecting culture and telling stories, cultivating connections with factor fruits, all sorts of really cool episodes that we publish here too. So check it out at optimismfractal.com/media to learn more and register for our events and share with friends. Optimismfractal. I mentioned that we play the respect game each week, so that's what we're going to do for the next 45, 50 minutes or so, where we each share our contributions. But everybody here is quite familiar with that. So if anybody's not familiar, you can check out optimist.io/respect game to learn more. And then we'll be hosting the first ever town hall. This was previously the Optimism Fractal planning sessions, but you can watch the last week's episode where we introduced this and watch some posts in the Discord, or read some posts in the Discord, and learn more. Encourage everybody who wants to stick around to join. Also, this is an independent event, so everybody's welcome to just join the town hall right after Optimism Fractal. It's a super exciting initiative that I'm excited to share more about in the first town hall. Actually, I proposed a topic for the Optimism Town Hall, and for some reason this page is not loading, but I have it also here too. But yeah, you can see our proposal from last week actually, and then this kind of overview that I proposed, that, or this overview that I shared, that the proposal from last week was approved by the Optimism Fractal Council. So that means that we're hosting the first town hall event today. And well, there's a whole lot of details here, so I won't go into details too much, but I want to keep this presentation short. But basically, we're going to keep on doing the town halls every week until maybe another proposal is approved with our consensus process. You can see the links on the screen to learn more. And for this week, there's a topic proposal called Exploring Optimism Town Hall and Cagendas, which is the community agenda creation game that we're playing with to vote on respect on topics at the Optimism Town Hall. So at this event, going to share a little presentation about the benefits, the next steps, and rationale of the town hall and Cagendas, and we have open discussion. And anybody's welcome to make proposals for topics. Anybody who's earned respect can now make proposals for topics at each of our town hall events in the snapshot space, and also can vote on it. And whichever topic gets the most votes at Monday at 17 UTC will be the topic we discuss. So encourage people to make proposals or think about different topics you can propose, and all sorts of cool stuff that we can do here. And we'll get more into detail about that after the respect game as well. But that's kind of just like a high level quick overview. And you can see how this was approved with our council process, council as well, to learn about how it works and how people can make decisions with respect and so forth. And the current council for this week, and the proposal that was approved for this week for the topic. Also want to give a reminder to people too. We host another event called Eden Fractal every Wednesday, 16 UTC, where we talk about these fractal decision-making process, like the respect game. Everybody's welcome to join these as well. And so, yeah, that's basically the end of the presentation here. I just have a couple other links for people who want to check out the Notion and stuff like that for coordinating all sorts of cool stuff. If anybody's not familiar with Optimism, check out optimism.io. It's very related to all the stuff we're doing here, and a lot of amazing stuff happening for public goods creators. But yeah, that's it. What we're going to do now is play the respect game. So thanks everybody for listening to the presentation. Hope you all enjoyed. And if anybody has any thoughts or questions or comments in general, thanks Hodlon for the confetti can, appreciate it. Then feel free to jump in and share whatever's on your mind, or if anyone wants to go first and share what they've been doing to help optimism and what they've been up to in general, then feel free to share, and we'll start playing the game whenever everybody's ready.
I've got a fun one.
All right, sounds good.
Anybody want to see? Okay, so at my work, we do like this. It's sort of like a hackathon. It's like a week-long thing where all the employees get to generate ideas for what would be something that's either exploring new technology, innovative, or improve an existing process. So I proposed that we create a chapter incentives token, and so the context of that is just that we have chapters. So there's like the teams, the normal teams, and everybody does their feature work. But then there's chapters that come together to like make decisions about, what should the protocol be for naming, the folders on the front end, or, usually it's more complex than that. But essentially, it's just defining kind of some of the directives and protocols that people follow organizationally. So those chapters, we have a hard time getting people to participate in them because they're so busy with all their other feature work that they come to the meetings, but they don't actually do anything. And we're like, oh, hey, can you do this? And they're like, yeah. And then we come back to the next meeting, they're like, I didn't have time, so it's kind of like a pretty normal thing. So I thought, what if we gave them some incentives in the form of bounties? And the theme for the practice week was it was Star Wars. So we did it with a Star Wars theme, and it was pretty fun. I used this service called Third Web, and I originally tried to build it on Optimism. I ended up having to switch to Base because there was some little like quirk with the way that they were doing their NFTs. So I probably should file a bug with Third Web with that, but I did get the thing working. So I'm gonna show the demo. Hopefully, if the sound is going to come through. Is there a way to do that on this? Let's see.
I think if you share your screen, then there should be an option that shares sound as well. I'm totally sure.
Okay. Yep, I see it. Okay, cool. So I got that. I'm going to share this. Hopefully, stop me if you guys can't hear this. I think this is the one I actually should. Let's try this. What? All right, you guys seen it?
I see your screen. Welcome to the Cantina.
Nice. Okay, so Star Wars themed. So we put a wallet login on it, and I'll just let it play. 6 chapter incentives. Check out this awesome landing page. Sunil and Ben worked out this system where we're going to log in with a crypto wallet rather than using traditional login, so we can cryptographically sign all of our transactions. So if you don't have your wallet connected, you need to connect it. So we'll click on this. We're going to use our installed MetaMask wallet. All right, so now we are in the application. We're going to go check out the bounty board. I am logged in as a Buildium user right here. You can see that I have a Buildium admin as well, and this Buildium admin has the respect tokens. Those are what we're going to give out for the bounties. All right, so I'm going to look at this user, and then we're going to go over to the bounty board. Okay, I'm going to be showing off the bounty board portion of our project. So as you can see, I've loaded up the website, and we've got a few bounties posted here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new one. So all you have to do is open up Jira, and we're going to go into our Practice Suite project. And I'm going to start a new bounty. I'm just going to tag it bounty. That's worth it. And we go back to our website, refresh the page. And that new bounty is appearing at the top of our list. You see it was posted by me, it's posted. And if you want to view the details of it, you just click this, and that'll open it up. And somebody could say, oh, you know what? So they'll assign it to themselves. And then back in the bounty board, or refresh the page, you'll see that it's gone because somebody picked it up. That's how the bounty board works. We're going to go over and we're actually going to pay them out. So I'm going to go into the admin. You go in here. We're going to go into our respect token. I'm going to send that wallet 10 respect. So we got to copy this address right here. We go into the admin, send, and we're going to send 10 respect over there. Right. We're going to confirm that. We're going to see that this transaction is pending on the blockchain. And then we can actually take a look over inside of our Buildium user. And we should be able to see that token come in momentarily. Meanwhile, I'm going to go over to the marketplace. So once the token is received, then this user can actually go into the marketplace and buy an NFT. So these NFTs cost varying amounts of respect. So each of these steps will come along with specific prizes, gift cards. So let's take a look in our wallet, see if that token has come in. It has. We've got 10 BD in here. So now I know that as this user, I can come in and purchase, and that's going to actually trigger a transaction in my wallet so that will be transferred from the admin wallet into my wallet via a smart contract. So we're going to buy that with our 5 respect. We're going to approve that transaction. Bundling 1:5 in here. And there he is. There you go. All right. Yeah, that's it. So hopefully not an abuse of the word respect token. But but yeah, just kind of a similar idea, but just trying to figure out a way to demonstrate the possibilities. And the company that I work for is a real estate management company. So probably I think the likelihood is I kind of did a little pitch at the end about trying to make digital ownership, a little bit more forward in the tech stack in the company, because I mean there's all kinds of possibilities for renting NFTs and digital ownership of properties, and all that is really kind of just coming to fruition now. So I think getting on board with that is a good thing. So anyway, that's what I've been working on.
Awesome. Well, way to go, Abraham. That's a really interesting demo you showed there. Thanks so much for sharing. And I have a whole bunch of questions I can ask, but maybe I'll save them for afterwards too, after everybody goes. And looking forward to diving in deeper and learning more about this, the Cantina.
Yeah, and especially I'd love some more suggestions because you guys have thought through the mechanics of how these things work so much more than I have. It's just something I threw together.
Okay, well, for sure. Yeah, I'd be happy to talk about it and provide any feedback or share any suggestions if I can. So, yeah, let's follow up about that. But I suppose first we can pass it on to the next person to go and share what they've been up to for the Respect game. So thanks so much, Abraham. I also want to welcome Jean, too. I think I saw, Jean, you registered in the Luma event. So thank you for registering and thanks for joining. if you'd like to introduce yourself, then feel free to do so. I see Hodlon put out the heart. We're in the middle of the respect game right now, or rather we just started. And Abraham just took about 4 minutes or so to share the project he's working on. And now the rest of us are also going to take about 4 minutes to share what we're doing to help optimism. So if you'd like to jump at any point, Gene, and say hello, then feel free. Or if you have any questions about how the game works, then feel free as well. And basically, we can just see who wants to go next. Or if Abraham, you want to nominate and choose somebody to go next, then it's up to you to do so if you'd like.
Okay. Hodlon, can I nominate you?
I can go next if you want.
All right. Yeah. Do it all.
Okay. So I'm not gonna lie, I've been doing so many things I probably am not gonna be able to share all of them. And everything's been absolute distraction because I don't know if you guys have seen any big news recently, but there's a certain Twitter account that's made some phenomenal memes, and they haven't said anything for the last 3 years. So very excited to hear what comes in the next few weeks. But we had our Wave Wars on Sunday between Cagendas and Eden. It was an awesome event. We had 42 NFTs minted, which is pretty exciting. Definitely the most we've had. And we got some awesome reviews from the event. And both of the artists were awesome. And it was just well, I think I got all of the video clips, so we're gonna take the video and the audio and try and make some content out of that as well. So that's kind of the first thing I've been working on is just Wave Wars, keeping it up. We got another one coming up this Sunday. It's a mystery battle, and if anyone is a musician and is interested in performing Wave Wars at some point, definitely let me know. Or if you go to the website and sign up to join the newsletter, you will get a form to sign up. So that's Wave Wars. The second thing is I started joining Eden Fractal for the second time yesterday and started ideating on how we as a Zaal and mode are going to create our fractals. So the Zaal fractal is going to be kind of more of a music-based fractal, and the mode fractal is going to be a little more like the optimism fractal, but specifically for building in mode. And I'm kind of going to be helping be the liaison for both of those. And I'm really excited to kind of get that started. Yeah, that's kind of where my mind's been at, just kind of ideating on different ways I can utilize respect tokens. And Abraham, you just saying that right there, definitely I've been working the idea of bounties at some point into what I wanted to build. And I think it'd be really cool to do a respect game tokenomics for like coming and participating, and then also bounties that might be the respect game might be for more for governance, but the bounties could be for revenue share, and they could be two different types of tokens. And I think that'd be a really good way to split it. So I'd love to maybe even chat with you one-on-one after about what you're doing, what you're building, and if you want to ideate on with me on how we can implement bounties into what I'm doing. I'm really just trying to find a way to track the different people who are helping me along the way of my journey of creating my community. And I think the respect tokens are a really good way of doing that, especially because I'm already doing weekly Zoom meetings on Mondays. So I'm also right now working on finalizing a form to send out to all of the people in my community. This is like a poorly formatted version of it, but I need to finalize it. I have all the data that I want to collect from people, and I'm going to be able to essentially, with most of this, if someone is interested in being on our website, it'll give an opportunity for their all of their links, kind of like a link tree, to be on our website. So I've been adding people slowly over the last little bit. Zayden and Cagendas got added this week because of Wave Wars, and then some other people who we've been working with, specifically Daniel, who's working on a project with us. And the goal is to essentially create a kind of link tree, but on our website with a little bit of SEO. So as we grow, we're just growing all of these artists as well. And the last thing we have in the last 30 seconds, 20 seconds, is our NFT that we're still selling out, which are custom PFPs by one of our artists, our second community member of the month, or our first community member of the month back in November of last year. Here are some of the images he's drawn. He actually just recently drew me a second one, and we have 2 minted so far, so he's currently working on the second NFT. So super exciting, lots of different things going on. And I didn't even chat about some of the crazy things going on in my personal life, where I think I might be moving to Costa Rica for a month to hang out with Hurricane, grind out what we're doing, because everything is moving super fast. And yeah, appreciate you guys. Yeah, thanks for letting me share. And now I'm gonna pick on Hodlon.
Picking on me again, Zaal. Great.
Got the fires and emojis going on. Very nice. Yeah, thanks so much.
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah, great. Great job, Zaal. Thanks for sharing. Let's see, share screen. Everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yep.
Bundl.
Cool. Okay, so I'm just going to share. I just have some, I guess, hack MDs. This is what I've been working on. I guess it's been over a month now, maybe since I was on last. Where's my timer, by the way?
I'll start it now.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect. And so I'm just going to share some of these things. So Bundl is basically taking the concept of what we do here, kind of forking it or porting it over to kind of ask a different type of question. I was hanging out with my friend Bitbeckers, who's actually in the community. And we were talking about ways that we could use the respect game to kind of incentivize. We have a lot of friends who are kind of full-time on-chain builders, developers, whatnot, and how we could kind of all support each other in all the things that we're working and do it in kind of a cohesive way using, on-chain tools, games, and stuff like that. So this is largely incomplete. This one right here is just kind of a basic outline, but that's the concept. And then from there, we were like, well, how do we improve on what we like, kind of what we're doing now? And this is where I think I posted this a while back, but we were at an event where Internet Computer was a sponsor, and so there's a lot of internet IC people hanging out, and so somebody presented this multi-chain voting. It was like a demo for a talk, and there's this multi-chain voting tool that basically uses ICP IC as its backend. And so we're kind of like, well, what if we combine Fractogram and all like kind of the OP fractal tools with this voting tool, and then I think Cagendas since then could be added to this, but kind of like, how do we kind of put all of these together into one place? And came up with this document that kind of outlines what that would look like, and each of the features and like how that would work. So this is meant as kind of a starting place, a launching off place to develop this. And then I think, like I told Dan, I knew that there was something being worked on as well. So I was hoping that this could contribute to that or kind of help move that along as well. And this was specifically came from Bundl, but is specifically designed to benefit this community, with this community in mind. This is about as far as it's gone right now. I've been super busy with other things, but I'm hoping to pick this up and maybe drive this forward in the coming months with the help of all of you. And then, so this is a DAO model that I came up with. I was giving a talk also last month, and decided the day before that I didn't want to talk about what my presentation was about because I'd already done it the week before. And so I took the inspiration from the event of kind of a lot of the stuff I was hearing. It was kind of a privacy focused event. I took that as inspiration and outlined my own, or outlined kind of this concept of like how, how people could organize to do things in the real world with on-chain tools. So coming together, basically making a DAO that's like as private as can be, using cryptography and privacy tools, because that's also kind of my background. And so I came up with this actually the day of my talk and finished it right before the talk, and then gave a talk about it. And that was fun. And then since then, I just publish it, get it out there to see what people think. And this is very bare bones, and hope to be adding kind of more components to this and see what happens. And that's it for me.
Awesome, super inspiring, Hodlon. Thanks. It's great to see. It's great to see all the stuff you're doing. And I hadn't seen what you were up to for the past few weeks. I know I heard a bit about it. Same with Abraham too. So after the break, seems like you've been up to a lot. So really appreciate it, and really cool to see. I see several people putting up clapping and fire emojis and stuff. And Jean put really cool in the chat too. So I can also have a bunch of questions about that too, but thanks a lot, Hodlon. And if you want to pick up on it, go next, then feel free to do so whenever you're ready.
Okay. Rosmari, do you want to go next?
Yes. Thank you. Thanks. So great to hear everyone and see what you've been working on. And everyone seems to be sharing their screen, which is a nice trend. What I've been working on this past week has been to edit the videos from the past 2 weeks for Eden Fractal 97th event and Optimism Fractal, the 25th event. So those are edited and shared. Eden Fractal is shared in Telegram chat, and Optimism Fractal shared in the Discord channel. I worked to create timestamps for both too, and they'll soon be posted, but that was a project that I worked on for creating the timestamps using trying to both use Claude and ChatGPT and compare the results, but I was working on how to also streamline that process. Then I posted the message, the invitational message as an article today at the Optimism Fractal Season 3 Community Calls section in the Optimism Governance Forum, inviting people to today's event. I was here recalling to the respect game and its purpose, and also introducing the Optimism Town Hall. And as well shared the Optimism Fractal 18th video here. In mostly of that message, I was referring to the details that Dan provided here in the middle of the week, because most of it is here. And I invite everyone to check it out and maybe give it a like or comment. So I did a similar thing in the Discord channel where I promoted the event. And this is Dan's edit here of the originally image for the Optimism Town Hall. He added the sages here to represent the council making the decisions. And also I did the same thing, promoted the event in the Optimistics Twitter account, which represents the Optimistics are the founders of Optimism Fractal. And then I invited everyone to join the event, as well as share the similar post about Optimism Town Hall coming up. And same thing in Telegram, in both the Fractally chat as well as the Eden Fractal Telegram. And then also I was working on promoting the Optimism Town Hall as a separate article and as a separate event as it is. And I've been mostly researching and organizing this project that was originally started by Dan, but I've been kind of thinking where to promote it and what would make most sense. Me and Dan have been brainstorming on the best promotional strategy to go forward with. We're thinking to promote it in Paragraph or Mirror, also using boosts and kind of reviewing some drafts that Dan worked on. But mostly I've been reviewing what has been posted so far and making a nice kind of a project here to promote it further in these platforms. So I've been working a lot to just sort out the information that's been put out so far and kind of started to draft this post, but it's still in draft. So I have 6 seconds to go. I also joined Eden Fractal event and made this image. We were discussing the product packaging and promoted the Eden Fractal event too in Twitter. And that's also all in collaboration with Dan because he's been helping me. And last but not least, I also made during that event for Eden Fractal, the discussions, I made a note of kind of all the discussion points we had from different participants and shared that Notion page in the Telegram group. Oh, and also responded to and welcomed Ash and Samantha to Eden Fractal's Telegram group. Because Eden Fractal generally takes the supportive role of Optimism Fractal, and that's the relationship there. I think Dan can explore more, can expand more on that if needed. Thank you. And also I'll keep my camera off because I think my internet's not that stable or my laptop is having a hard time, something like that. So I'll keep it off. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. Thanks so much for the presentation, Rosmari, and pleasure collaborating with you as always. If you'd like to pick somebody to go next, I also want to say to Jean too. So everybody's been sharing their screen, and so that's really cool. And I think it's awesome when everybody shares their screen because it makes it so everybody here and everybody's watching can see. But also, there's no need to share your screen. If you just want to talk, then you're welcome to. Or if you want to share your screen, that's very welcome too. So Rosmari, if you want to pick somebody to go next, whether or I suppose if Jean wants to go jump in now, then feel free. And we'd be happy if you want to just introduce yourself as well. But I see Rosmari is unmuted now, so perhaps Rosmari can decide.
Yes, I choose Jean. I'm curious to learn more about Jean and what he's been up to, and also who he is.
Hello, thank you for kind willingness to listen and meet somebody new. My name is Jean. Nice to meet all of you. This is really a neat group that you've collected, and I'm excited to participate going forward. I have very little to offer at the moment, obviously, since I wasn't prepared to present, but I'm currently just ending a stint for Optimism as a member of the Code of Conduct Council, which is one of the governance efforts that was put forth in this last season to try to develop a decentralized method for enforcing the rules of engagement and the Code of Conduct. And I am presently trying to draft a proposal to continue that council. So that's kind of what I'm working on in the next few days. In terms of the rest of the community, I have several interests that I would like to put forward through these sort of decentralized initiative groups or events like this. Particularly, I'm trying to develop a presence on the African continent, specifically in Nigeria, where I have several friends that I'm trying to support in their endeavors through various means, but would like to kind of leverage this ability to draw on people's better intentions and kind of collect that into some method of applying that to benefit people that really need it on the ground in the disadvantaged areas of the world. So that's a limited idea of what I'm trying to accomplish in some sense. I'm sorry, it's kind of nebulous. I'd be happy to try to develop that better, but yeah, currently I just appreciate all of you and yeah, enjoying learning alongside of you. Thanks.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Jane. Really appreciate it. That's really cool to hear about some of the stuff you've been up to. I've been following the Code of Conduct Council, for example, and interested to learn more about your work with, I believe you said Nigeria and all your work in general. So thanks so much for joining us and sharing your work. I see several people putting up hearts. That's nice to see all the support. And if you did want to share anything more, Gene, then feel free. I put the clock a bit late, but you still have another minute or two to share if you want to more broadly introduce anything you're working on, or anything else, or otherwise you can pass it on to me whenever you're ready as well.
Yeah, why don't I go ahead and pass it on, Dan, and I'll continue to listen. Thank you very much.
Okay, sounds good. You're very welcome. And yeah, feel free to jump in at any point if you have any other ideas that come to mind or anything you want to share. Also, by the way, Rosmari, if you could please get the fractogram set up while I'm doing my presentation, then I'd appreciate
Sure.
that. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to share what I've been up to. I also, it's been a bit hectic. We kind of put a lot on our plate preparing for this Optimism Town Hall. So I didn't get the chance to prepare everything as smoothly as I want, but I think it's pretty good stuff. So I'm going to share some of the stuff I've been up to here and just talk about it a little bit for the next 4 minutes. Okay, so I spent a lot of my time working in the Optimism Fractal Notion site. I've been working to build this to help foster a collaborative effort towards building Optimism Fractal, and they all fractals that I'm very pleased and honored to see talking about implementing the respect game in different communities, and so I really appreciate that and working to facilitate that with Optimism Fractal and also Eden Fractal, as Rosmari had mentioned as well. Thanks for making the time on she put in when I'm giving presentations sometimes. But yeah, this is Optimism Fractal Notion page. I think most people here have seen it. So, but I've been constantly updating this, and you go and you search if you ever want to go and sort like the projects or tasks by most newly updated, and you can see I'm usually adding like several projects each day and several tasks each day as well too. So you just have to go here, and then you have to go to like created time or last edited time, and then you could sort of by descending, and then you'd see lots of new things related to the town hall and engaging with the base ecosystem and explore. And I've been working on doing a lot of research and collaborating with Jacob from Roles and Reputations with ATX, which is a really cool thing that integrates with HATS protocol, and I think will help us with token for respect. So lots of stuff going on there. I've been just adding myself out here. I'll add some filters there. And then also tasks too, which is even more about it. But if you wanted to see, for example, I've been creating lots of tasks. You can go sort it by created time or whatever. But anyway, you get the idea. Basically, there's lots of I have actually pre-built filters here for recently created tasks I've been creating, and also Rosmari's been creating too. So lots of stuff that's been going on here to develop it. One of the main initiatives I've been working on this week too is also at the top of the page is a development hub, which I refined and worked on more this week. This is a place where developers and builders of all kinds can come to find out resources related to technical development for Optimism Fractal. Lots of tools that we're building, like for example, Hodlon displayed the IT Fractal app. And so we're working on making these tools widely available and really easy and fun to play. And to coordinate and make decisions with respect. So working on like, I just basically wrote a better introduction and so forth for the development hub. And then this has like a more curated section where people can find the different projects. And then I also am curating a project to build this development hub too and build up educational resources for builders. So I worked on that this week after there's somebody in the who joined the Eden Fractal chat who's been developing with Fractal platforms. So there's more details there where I responded, and I'm working on curating that for some developers who might be interested in building with Optimism Fractal. And then I also, so last week, Hodlon and I discussed talking about making a Fractal App Chat on Discord, which we did, and I didn't get a chance to share it this week. I'm going to share it as soon as possible. I'm working on basically taking the projects that we have for the Optimistics team. I've been working with the developers on the Optimistics team to build and coordinate this app, but we're also, I'm just going to be kind of like open sourcing all our work in the public Notion site for Optimism Fractal, and then working to help coordinate the development in this new Optimism Fractal chat. So I started writing an introduction to this as well. So working on that as well as organizing all that development material. And then I've been working on developing the Optimism Town Hall a lot too. So Rosmari introduced it a bit, and that's also what we'll discuss at Cagendas. So I won't share too much here, but I built this project over the past couple of weeks for developing the Optimism Town Hall with some details here as a way to help coordinate the Optimism Collective governance and so forth, and provide as much positive impact and value as we can. And there's sub projects for promotions and also for topics to propose, and also technical development of Cagendas to make it where we can vote with respect in different ways and create data that's helpful for data scientists and so forth. And then also a bunch of research to help out the Optimism Collective and see exactly what they need with a whole bunch of tasks. So I'll go into more detail about that. And then lastly, as Rosmari presented, I hosted the Eden Fractal community. We hosted our 90th event, and this is the community that's been pioneering these fractal decision-making processes and community building tools and stuff like the Respect game. And at this week's event, I made a proposal for actually I pulled up the wrong tweet here, but as Rosmari showed before, it's a topic proposal to talk about packaging products for like the Respect game and for the apps that like Hodlon was talking about, so we can package it and explain the benefits of it as succinctly as possible. Also, I suppose one thing that I didn't include here, but I'm past time, so I'll wrap it up. But in the Optimism Town Hall project, I also shared like a pretty long and detailed message about the proposal being approved at Optimism Town Hall last week, and followed up with progress about that. But anyway, that's my presentation. So thanks all for listening and joining. Rosmari, I see, by the way, you said your camera wasn't working, but it looks like it's on, but it's just black right now. So I don't know if you wanted to turn that off or if you wanted to join us. But I also see that you created the group link where we'll do the ranking process, the Fractogram group. So thanks for the fire, Abraham, appreciate it, and the heart, Rosmari. And then, yeah, if anybody hasn't joined there yet, I'm going to join there now. So that's where we can reach consensus. Gene, if you're not familiar, if you hadn't done research on it yet, basically what we're going to do now is going to rank each other's contributions to see who helped Optimism most in the past week, who did the second most, who did the third most, and the fourth most, and so forth. And then we'll all receive respect if we reach consensus. And I see you shared your account name there, so that's cool. And then that's a staggering amount of effort, Dan. Much respect. Well, thank you very much, Gene. I appreciate that a lot. And I also have much respect for what you're doing too. I think that's really important, really exciting. I'm looking forward to learning more. So I appreciate the kind words. And I joined the Telegram group, but I don't see anybody else who did yet. So whenever anybody else gets around to it too, if you scroll up a little bit to the group, I see Gene just joined. Then please join the Telegram group, and then shortly after everybody joins, then we're just going to put out a prompt where everybody can enter their account /public key for Optimism. So please get that ready whenever you're ready. I see smiley faces in there too, so very nice to see everybody having a good time. And also, if anybody has any questions or comments for anybody at this time, then feel free to share them. Okay, looks like everybody's here. We do just have 10 minutes left for the Respect game. We kind of took a bit longer than expected, working on being more punctual with the Respect game. So we should try to wrap it up within the next 10 minutes so that we have enough time for the town hall, and if anybody has to go in top of the hour. So if anybody has any questions, then feel free to ask. Also, let's try to be pretty quick though. And Rosmari just shared that the enter the Optimism account and reply this message, so everybody can please respond to that, and that's much appreciated. I had one quick question for Abraham. I suppose if you're not busy, I was wondering just what was the role with the Cantina? Like, did you build that? So maybe I missed in the beginning, but did you build that basically over the past few weeks with another person, or did you have some role in like using that? It just wasn't clear. Like, that's a new app basically, the Cantina?
Yeah, we just so I was the team lead for the project, and I had 3 other developers that I was kind of shepherding through learning how to do blockchain stuff, and I kind of architected it and put it together, and they came up with somebody else found that image and put it in there, and you know they just picked it right up. So you know, I probably did, I'd say at least 50% of the development. But yeah, it was a really cool thing, a lot of work, and it was over 5 days last week.
Okay, well done. Thank you for the clarification. Looking forward to learning more about it. And if you have a link, by the way, if anybody has any links you want to share, like I don't know if that's public, Abraham, but if you have any links, I'd be happy to check it out.
Yeah, it's still private, this one. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure I'm actually allowed to share it. So we'll see. I can ask.
Okay, cool. cool. Yeah, yeah, no rush or pressure or anything. And also same for Hodlon too. If you had that the hack MD for what you've been working on with the I'm blanking on the name right now. But with that new group that you're creating, then I'd appreciate reading that at some point too if it's ready.
Yeah, I'll post it in the chat.
Okay.
I also forgot to mention that the privacy one actually has the respect game integrated, like what we're doing here. I forgot to mention that component as well.
Okay, very interesting. I'd love to read that one as well. Also, by the way, Zaal, you haven't entered your account in the Fractogram, and everybody else has. So as soon as you can, when you're able to, please enter your account in there. And there it is. Yeah, and if Zaal or Jean or Rosmari wanted to share any links as well, would be happy to see him either here in the Telegram chat or in the Discord or both. And if you share in the Discord, then everybody else can see it as well.
Yeah, and just for Gene, the ranking level 6 is the highest rank, not 1.
Okay, so this is the broad contribution to optimism in general, or what's being accounted for?
Yeah, it's basically who helped optimism the most. It's generally speaking who helped optimism the most in the past week. That's usually how we do it, but that's also like a bit flexible too, because sometimes, you know, somebody hadn't joined for a little while and did a lot over the past month, and you can also rank that. And in this example, we were on a break, so I think there was some longer contributions too. But yeah, basically who helped optimism the most over the past week or so. And does that make sense? And sound good?
I suppose that makes sense. It's just just as an immediate feedback, I find that to be like difficult to judge, and I would not have the confidence to be like informed and know that appropriately. So how do you go about determining that?
Thanks for the feedback. Yeah, so we just do our best basically to try to subjectively assess it. I mean, feel free to ask any questions if you want. That would help you clarify. And then also keep in mind that it's not like the one sole like determining who will have the most like forever, because the idea is that we do this every week on a weekly basis, and we're kind of taking like lots of little measurements. So we're just trying to make it simple. Like if you can pick who helped the most and who helped the second most, and just kind of make these binary choices. And then over time, by having lots of different community members make lots of little decisions like that, and by doing that every week, we take lots of measurements to see who's generally helping the most. So I would say don't put too much pressure on yourself, and just try to see who you think helped the most, just given the information that you have from what you've heard so far.
Yeah, I'd say another way to think about it is that in each ranking, we're doing this in each meeting is very subjective. Like we're all just kind of agreeing with ourselves with what we brought forward, like who, you know, but then it becomes more objective over time, with, you know, as everything averages out, is another way to look at it. Gene, I had the same response when I first joined as well, and asked a lot of similar questions like that. Actually, let me share. I have a document from our season 1 reflection where I poke holes in a lot of stuff. Maybe I'll share that again. And Gene, you can check that out.
Sounds good. Yeah, see, Gene wrote brilliant. Thank you, smiley face. So really appreciate the feedback and all the positivity like that, Gene. If you had any other questions about that or any thoughts, then feel free to share. And yeah, I recommend reading Hodlon's retrospective. It's very interesting and very thoughtful and very helpful. We do have everybody has voted or submitted their first response, basically, level 6, and I have 4 votes. Abraham had 1 vote, and Jean had 1 vote. So I suppose I'll just happily accept that and say thank you very much. I'm honored, especially Everett doing such amazing work. So thank you. That means we have consensus with 4 to 6. And so I see Rosmari put out the poll for who should be ranked as level 5. So now everybody can please answer and choose who you think did the second most this week. How often?
Yeah, just to also add here is that we have to reach consensus amongst ourselves for who do we think did the most, second most, and so forth, in order to go to the next level of voting.
Yep, that's right. Thank you, Rosmari. We need to reach at least 66% consensus to move on to the next round. And it looks like so far everybody's voted but you, Rosmari, I believe, on this one. And we have a split right now. We have 3 votes for Abraham and 3 votes for Gene. So now in order to reach consensus and reach respect, well, in order to reach respect, we need to reach consensus with at least 4 to 6. So would any of you like to share their reasoning for why they voted for whom, and if they want to maybe advocate for whoever they voted for? Or if anybody wants to switch their vote, then you can feel free to as well. If you just by the way, Gene, the way it works is that if you right click or hold down if you're on mobile, then you can switch your vote to yourself. Or if Abraham wanted to do the same, then you could, because I see that Hodlon, Abraham's all voted for Gene, and me, Rosmari, and Gene voted for Abraham. Gene wrote, what a neat concept, very cool. I'm glad you like it.
I was just thinking that, Gene is actually contributing directly to the Optimism Collective, whereas, my project is cool, but it's also, it's a little bit more tangential in the sense that I'm using a prepared framework to, put together some Legos, but not actually doing the hard work of trying to figure out policy. So that was my thought process.
Okay, interesting. I voted for you, Abraham, because I think that, you've just been doing a lot of outstanding in general. I have a lot of respect for what you're doing in general. And then I thought that this project, it seemed like you did a huge amount of work coordinating a team and building this. And the app looked really nice and polished and stuff like that. And also you said that, I think you said that you tried deploying it on Optimism, the OP mainnet, but then you deployed on Base. That's still directly building on the superchain on Base. So that's really cool. But I also see you're saying about Gene, and I've been following in general what's going on with the Code of Conduct Commission, and I'm sure he's also it sounds like he's pretty deeply ingrained with Optimism Collective governance, which is really important too. And also, I really appreciate his enthusiasm and his presentation like that. So I'd be happy to switch to Gene if people like. Currently, my vote's still with Abraham though too. So I'd be curious if anybody wants to switch. Oh, it looks like somebody changed to somebody. It looks like somebody changed to Abraham. So looks like Abraham got it then. And we can move on to level 4. Okay, and it looks like there's consensus for Gene. You got 4 to 6 right now. So thank you very much, Gene, and much respect. And now we can do level 3. This has been really difficult, by the way, too. Like this whole, to Gene's point, it's often not easy, but it's also good to have fun with it too. So we rank level 3 now, and I think most people voted, but we don't have a vote from one person yet, with Zaal.
Zaal got level 3.
Okay, Zaal got level 3. Now we can move on to level 2. A huge thanks all for all your support at Eden Fractal. Really appreciate you inviting people and contributing, and really excited to collaborate with you on the Zaal Fractal and the Mode Fractal too. Really appreciate it.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it. And I think Sam got super busy and fell asleep, but I think she'll be here next week. And I'm very excited, Dan. We gotta catch up and find some time either later this weekend or early next week to chat.
Okay, Sounds good. Yeah, I think we're planning to talk tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to chatting with you then, and yeah, happy to help and collaborate however I can. And for level 2, looks like we do not have consensus. We're missing a vote from Zaal. If you want to share who you think should be level 2 this week. And it looks like we do have consensus for Hodlon, which I think what Hodlon is doing is amazing. Stoked to see those articles you wrote. I see you shared that. I don't know which one that is. I know you shared 3 of them. So I'm going to read into that one. But I think there's another one too. So if you want to share the other one, then feel free.
The bundle, yeah, the bundle one I need to polish a little bit before I like publish it and share it. I'll DM it to you. I'll DM it to you. But it's not ready for wider distribution yet.
Okay, cool. Well, whenever you're ready, I look forward to reading that. And I feel a little bit like another week. I usually would have given you level 6 right there because those things sound amazing. But thanks so much, Hodlon. I really appreciate it. And of course, we really appreciate everything that Rosmari's doing too. She's doing awesome work. So very much respect, very much appreciate it. We are coming past top of the hour, so we should probably wrap up the respect game quickly and trying to be a bit more timely in the future. But Rosmari just put up the consensus results in the Fractogram. So I see several people have already given a thumbs up if I agree. And the way this works is that we not only need to reach consensus, but we need to submit the consensus on chain. So at the bottom of Rosmari's message, it says results can be submitted here. And the here button is when you click that, that'll go to Optimism Fractal.web.app. And when you hit the continue button right in the middle, then that will pre-fill the results of the game into the user interface. And then when you hit the submit button after you log in, then that will submit the order. And if you want, you can double check to make sure that the accounts are correct, but it should be correct. It always works. There's also a hash that you can check, and if you want to share it in the chat, then you can confirm there. But yeah, basically just hit the submit button to submit it on chain. Please do so within the next 57 minutes because there needs to be 4 to 6 consensus on chain by the end of the meeting.
Okay,
and
wait, I'm getting a blockchain not ready error. What is the solution for that again?
Yeah, thanks, Hodlon. So the solution is for me to be able to I was just making a joke because I've been talking with Vlad, one of the developers on the team, and trying to fix it, but he's taken some time to be able to fix that. So in the meantime, we do have some documentation in the Notion site, so I'll share a link because I don't remember exactly what the thing was, but I started adding like to an FAQ section about blockchain not ready. So I'll share a link to that, or perhaps I'll
I refreshed and it seems to be working. So I hope it's working for everyone else.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. Was that you something you're saying there, Rosmari?
I submitted as it.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. I also, by the way, I'm going to share in the chat. Okay. Well, in case anybody has an issue, then I just shared a link to a blog where actually Hodlon solved this issue and discussed it like from 2 months ago. So.
Great. This is why we document. Document.
Yes, exactly. I think Gene put what an experience too. So thank you so much, Gene. Glad you enjoy it. I hope you've had an amazing time today. Hopefully everybody's going to be able to get their consensus results submitted in, then we can move on to the town hall portion of the event too. But if anybody else has any issues submitting the results, then please feel free to let us know. Also would be curious, Gene, if you want to share any of the feedback out loud and share a bit more, we'd love to hear from you. And then that would allow people who are watching to also hear the feedback too. So feel free to do so if you'd like to share anything else that's on your mind, and we'd appreciate hearing any feedback if you'd like to share.
This is really cool. I just didn't expect this at all to be something that was so unique and fun and still like on chain, and I'm just kind of flabbergasted right now. So very, very impressed, very delighted to be participating in this. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Gene.
Thank you.
There we go. And confetti going up. Very, very nice to see. I'm really glad that you enjoyed it so much, Gene. You had fun, and like all the on-chain interaction and stuff we got going on. We've been working really hard on this for the past. Oh, actually, I forgot to mention, we passed our 6-month anniversary for Optimism Fractal a couple weeks ago. It was over the break, actually. So maybe at some point we should celebrate that or something like that. But I just forgot about that. But yeah, we've been working hard on this for the past, we've been working really hard on Optimism Fractal for the past over 6 months, probably 8 months or so since we started building it. And then also we've been working on this fractal processes for the past few years. So that's really great to hear, Jane. And I'm glad you enjoyed it so much. And I'm really grateful for all the work you're doing. Looking forward to learning more and collaborating, and hoping, however, I can have a weekend. And you're very welcome, of course, to join our events every week. We have them at Thursdays at 7 p.m. BC. And if you wanted to share any more feedback, then feel free to share. If not, I'm also going to just put in my consent results if I haven't submitted it yet. And if anybody wants to share anything, then feel free. And also, we can get into the town hall portion shortly as well.
Where is the origin of this prop? Where did this effort come from? Like, I was not aware of this until a few weeks ago, and only tangentially, obviously. And this is so involved and so connected to everything that seems like the collective is about. I'm just kind of staggered that this is not more well known and popular, and that there aren't 1,000 people in here right now. So I'm really impressed.
Thanks so much. That's also amazing to hear. Thank you, Gene. So one of the ideas too, by the way, is that it's fractal. So it's meant to be, right now we just have one breakout room, and we're aiming to promote it more and attract more people in the collective and more people around the world. We have a mission at the Eden Fractal, a community that I had talked about and Rosmari and Zaal talked about, to implement these fractal decision-making processes throughout society and help all communities and organizations. So this fractal process is meant to have it where we go into many breakout rooms and many thousands of people can come together. So that's certainly the goal, but it's also a lot of work to like coordinate and build a tool and everything like that too. So really appreciate everybody who can help spread the word and help contribute to it and so forth. It's very much a grassroots effort. And then where it came from, so I have an article that I can share in the chat. It's at optimistics.io. It's on the blog, and then I'll share the link. I don't remember exactly the URL. It's called The History of Fractal Communities. And basically the high level overview. Maybe I'll also share my screen as part of the town hall too, because that might be a good thing to kind of introduce it. But yeah, basically there was, this concept has been around since early 2021. It was created by a visionary innovator named Daniel Larimer, who created several of the leading platforms in Web3. He created the first social media platform, Steam and Hive, and BitShares and EOS. Yep. And so I've been very active in the EOS community for the past 6 or 7 years since it started. And so he created this, he wrote a book called More Equal Animals, where he talked about creating true democracy and better governance for all of society, basically, using this kind of fractal process. And then in 2022 came out with a white paper called Fractally, that had this idea about how communities can coordinate with what we now call the respect game. It's taken us a while to figure out how to communicate and brand and so forth. And Dan's team is now building another software platform, but we started Eden Fractal with a bunch of EOS community members back about 2 years ago now. And so I'm going to share my screen now. So if you want to check it out, then you can see some of the stuff I'm talking about here. And then, basically we talked about, we started a community called Eden about 3 years ago. And then we started, and their white paper came out where you can learn more. And that's what the respect game is based upon. And you can find links here to learn more as well. And then basically about 7 months ago or so, we really got into optimism, or maybe longer, maybe almost a year ago now since we've been building it. And then I've been working with tools, or I've been working with developers in the Optimistics team to build tools to build on optimism and so forth. And so we're fairly new to the Ethereum ecosystem and the Optimism Collective. And that's one of the reasons also why we're working to promote it while also building the tools and so forth. But yeah, I just shared the link to optimistics.io/blog/fractal history, where you can see all about where it's come from and so forth. There's been hundreds of builders who've been working to build these processes over the past 3 years or so now. And it's really reaching like an inflection point where we have it pretty well organized now, and the tools are coming together. So we're aiming to grow it quite a lot in the coming months and years. And we believe that it can and will create profound benefits for Optimism Collective and society as a whole. So I see Rosmari put, she sent me a message, OT each time, Optimism Town Hall time. Yeah, we're 20 minutes past every hour. I see Jean put amazing. Sounds great. Jean, welcome. Rosmari, welcome Jean to the Optimism Fractal Discord, where we'll follow up. And if you have any questions or want to share anything there, I encourage everybody to join Optimism Fractal Discord and help spread the word and invite more people, as Rosmari said too. And thanks, Rosmari, for sharing the link. Also recommend checking out too, if you want to check out fractals.com too, then that's linked on that article that has a lot of that has a white paper, which is built off of, and the More Evil Animals book too. And there's an audiobook there that I can share with you if you like. So I suppose if anybody else has anything that you want to share, I see Hodlon's unmuted. I don't know if you want to jump in with anything, Hodlon. Also, we can get into the town hall whenever we're ready to.
Nope.
Okay. Sounds good. So I suppose we'll get in the town hall. This will be the first town hall. We're getting started a little bit late, but we're having a great event, and so we're going to go for another 18 minute schedule. If you want, we can go a bit later too. We want to respect time, so I'll share a brief presentation about the Optimism Town Hall, and as I wrote in the original proposal or the original thing that I shared this week, I'll share a bit about the potential benefits and next steps and rationality of the new initiatives, and I'm very interested to hear everybody's feedback about the Optimism Town Hall. So I'll go ahead, and if anyone wants to jump in with any questions or thoughts at any time, then feel free to do so. Okay, welcome everybody to the first ever Optimism Town Hall. We've just been hanging out at Optimism Fractal, playing the respect game and talking with Hodlon, Abraham, and Zaal and Rosmari and Jean here. We had an awesome respect game, super inspiring. Recommend checking out the video. And we're here at the first Optimism Town Hall, where we're going to be talking about Optimism Fractal and the Optimism Collective, and aiming to help the Optimism Collective make a positive impact, or help make a positive impact in the Optimism Collective and grow optimism around the world and all sorts of good stuff. So I have a little presentation shared here, or prepared for you here. It's a little bit maybe disorganized, but I'll do my best to share a brief presentation. And as I just said, feel free to jump in. We'll be doing the Optimism Town Hall every Thursday at 18 UTC, immediately following the weekly respect game at Optimism Fractal events. And everybody's welcome to join. Encourage you all to join to help lead Optimism Collective and optimism governance. And also, as we were just talking about, to help out the world. We were just talking about the history of fractal communities and where Optimism Fractal comes from. We have an article at optimism.io/blog, where you can learn more about what we've been doing with the respect game for the past couple of years. And now with respect, this super helpful respect token that we get from the respect game, we can do so many cool things. And one of the really cool things that we can do is we can play Cagendas. And Cagendas is something that we can vote with our respect, which is a soul-bound non-transferable token that we earn by playing the respect game. And we can vote with this respect on topics that we want to discuss, so we can coordinate shared meeting time. And we've been doing this for a while, for the past year or so, in another community, and now we're introducing it here at the Optimism Town Hall. We actually talked about it a little bit last week too. So last week we started off with Optimism Fractal Season 3, which we're really excited about. We actually approved a proposal with our consensus process with our council, where respected community members who have earned the respect token can make community decisions and so forth. And we approved a proposal for Optimism Fractal Season 3, and we're in our second episode now, our second event. Everybody's welcome to join these events to play the respect game. And I put out a proposal to start playing Cagendas, which is a social coordination game where people can vote with respect on topics to discuss. And also start at the new event called Optimism Town Hall, which is just starting out, so we'll see how it goes. But the idea is that it'll be a collaborative space for structured discussions about the Optimism Collective. It's coming from the Optimism Fractal community. Everybody's welcome to join, and we want to make it really focus on helping out the Optimism Collective. Previously, we were doing a planning session, which was internally focused on how we can help Optimism Fractal, and we still want to do that to some extent because there's some things that we'll need to figure out. But also, there's lots of things that the Optimism Collective needs as it aims to actualize the optimistic vision. Recommend checking out, I should probably bring up the window actually for optimism.io too, if you haven't checked it out. I already gave a little presentation at the beginning too, but check out optimism.io. The Optimism Town Hall is aiming to help the Optimism Collective actualize this vision about creating a world where public good creators are rewarded and having equitable internet and so forth. There's amazing things happening on the super chain that we can discuss. I recommend checking out optimism.io. This will be a big focus of the Optimism Town Hall, I think, anyway, because the way it works is that we can propose topics. Anybody who's earned respect, Optimism Fractal can post topics and vote with topics on respect. And then basically it'll be like a democratic process to decide whatever we want to discuss at each Optimism Fractal event, or at each Optimism Town Hall event, I should say. Each Optimism Fractal event will still be the respect game, although of course that can also be decided with the council too. So I already went over this to some extent too, but I'm also kind of just trying to give an introductory presentation for anybody who's just tuning in for this portion of Town Hall too. But as I said, recommend checking out the full Optimism Fractal event and joining us each week at 17 UTC and 18 UTC if you're available for both the respect game and the Town Hall. And so yeah, I have on my page here, I wrote a pretty detailed post about us passing the proposal, how the council passed this proposal to initiate this this new Cagendas game at the Optimism Town Hall. So you can see the proposal that is linked above, actually, and that was approved. I showed at the beginning of the Optimism Fractal show. And then I also proposed a topic proposal for this week called Exploring Optimism Town Hall and Cagendas. And as I said, I'd like to share a brief presentation, which I'll just about do now, that provides a more in-depth overview of the potential benefits, next steps, and rationale of these new initiatives. And there's also an introductory post where you can find more details about these initiatives and what we're doing and some projects in Notion that we've been working on. And everybody can now vote with respect in the Optimism Town Hall snapshot space as well. So I encourage people to do so. There's some rules, some simple rules, basically just whichever topic gets the most votes by Monday at 17 UTC will be the topic discussed during the upcoming Town Hall event. So if anybody wants to propose a topic, then just make sure to set the topic proposal to end on Monday at 17 UTC or earlier to be eligible as a formal topic proposal. And just please feel free to propose any topic that's related to Optimism Fractal or the Optimism Collective. We also discussed this last week's event too, for the last 10 minutes or so, and also in the beginning. So there's a timestamp there if you want to check it out, and encourage everybody to register and share with friends as well for the Optimism Town Hall featuring Cagendas. So as a quick overview, you can check out optimismfractal.com/council to learn how this proposal was approved. And there's 6 members each week who can join the Optimism Fractal Council to make decisions about the Optimism Town Hall, which we did. And then this was the proposal that was approved as well to start up the Optimism Town Hall with Cagendas too. This is the introductory post for Cagendas and the Town Hall. I made a little announcement here. So there's more details of all this, and this is the rules of Cagendas basically, which I explained. So I think most of this I went over well. I believe that the Town Hall will help both Optimism Fractal and Optimism Collective a lot, as well as like humanity as a whole. So I put out some reasoning here too. This was I wrote back when we first made the proposal last week too, but if anyone wants to look into it, then feel free. And one of the things I'm going to be going into now is the Optimism Town Hall project. There's several different projects that are related to Optimism Town Hall. So I'm just going to give a brief overview about the rationale and exactly how it can grow and so forth. Here's the Town Hall snapshot that where everybody can make a topic by just making new proposals there. And we'll share all the links in the chat too. And most of them are in that proposal or that announcement post too. So as I said before, feel free to jump in. I'll try to keep this as brief as possible. I've probably already been going for like 7 minutes or so. So I'll try to keep it brief, but feel free to also jump in. There's a lot to say here. And I'm trying to load this page right now. So basically there's this project over here for developing the Optimism Town Hall, which is loading and it's here. And this is a project where I think we can coordinate. I mentioned before in my respect game presentation that I'm working on the Optimism Fractal Notion site to develop Optimism Fractal initiatives and help out optimism in many different ways. And there's a project here called Develop Optimism Town Hall, where we can collaborate to develop the Optimism Town Hall for benefit of optimism and all. So you can see a little overview here, and then there's several sub-projects too. For whatever reason, the pictures aren't loading, which I was hoping that the pictures would load and it looks very nice, but apparently the luck won't have it this way. But there's, there we go. So there's some sub-projects for the promotional strategy, for promoting, get the word out about Optimism Town Hall and how it can help and invite people, especially from the collective. I'd love to see more people, like for example, Gene joined us today, and he works with the Code of Conduct Council. So we would love to invite more people to the Optimism Town Hall and really have a place where we can facilitate discussions about the Optimism Collective that I think would be really helpful to help pioneer the future of retro funding and different ways that we can grow in the path towards meta governance. There's also a project for creating topics for Optimism Town Hall that I'll go over briefly, and technical development of agendas, and also researching and strategizing to provide Optimism Collective with the most value with Optimism Town Hall. And there's a whole bunch of tasks there. But all these tasks here, because this is like a mega project, they're all kind of better organized into these sub projects too. So I recommend probably going to the sub projects. So there's like the promotional strategy, for example, where Rosmari and I are like kind of going over like a bunch of stuff. All these projects are kind of early stages, but we won't talk so much about promoting it here. Anybody's interested in agendas, I've been doing a lot of research into like Snapshot, thinking about like making like a new maybe OPC token, something like that, OPC, where people can like vote with, if say, for example, we could also vote if they're badge holders and stuff like that. So a whole bunch of ideas about how we can allocate speaking time and improve agendas, because right now we have a simple version. But basically the project for anybody who wants to get involved in the technical development of agendas and technical design and so forth. Thank you, Rosmari, for sharing those links. And then, I suppose one thing I can also share too in Cagendas, as I said, we've been doing this for about a year or so at the Eden Fractal community, which has been pioneering these fractal processes. So if anybody wanted to dive in deep, we have a bunch of articles at edencreators.com/Cagendas. And then in the that project I just showed, there's a bunch of videos from back about a year and a half ago, and going to our 28th, 36th meeting, 57th, 59th. So we talked about agendas and Cagendas probably like 6 or 7 times already. So there's lots of resources basically where we can dive into how Cagendas work. We've talked about this a lot at previous meetings. And I'm going to get to the rationale now basically. And there's a project here for researching and strategizing to provide the Optimism Collective with the most value at Town Hall. I suppose I didn't write this properly yet. As I said, these are all works in progress, but basically, the reason why I started thinking about the Optimism Town Hall, one of the main reasons is I was reading a lot of the stuff going on in the governance forum. And the Optimism Collective is basically on a path towards open meta governance, where they're aiming to give more decision-making power and so forth to the community, and have the foundation step back a bit. So this project curates a lot of research about what is going on with the Optimism Collective and stuff they've been sharing, as well as how we can communicate and how we can position Optimism Town Hall to help with this. So there's still some projects, there's some tasks that aren't super organized, but there's lots of like posts here basically that I'm working to organize and share how it can be helpful. And I did just pull up some forum posts that I recommend diving in deeper, and we can always discuss this more in future weeks. But about 2 months ago, the Optimism Foundation put out an article about the path towards meta governance, open meta governance, where they're working to kind of have more community engagement in the governance of Optimism Collective, and so forth. So here's an article that I think we can play a role in helping facilitate this path towards open meta governance. And they've also been working towards experimenting with deliberative processes in the collective too, such as impact juries and so forth. So all these things we can go into in a full town hall, basically. Like there's a lot of detail here, basically, but impact juries and this idea of deliberative processes, a lot of stuff we're doing at Optimism Fractal can really help with this, and the town hall can help with this too. So town hall, basically, we can propose topics that help with these processes. Also, the retro funding, it's a huge opportunity for public goods creators and the Optimism Collective. And so the Optimism Collective the Optimism Foundation just announced the next 4 rounds, or the next 3 rounds of retro funding going on for the next throughout 2024. And they have an article here talking about new ways of measuring impact in the collective. So they're working on ways to do metrics-based evaluation, impact juries, and there's a whole bunch of responses to this post. You can see there's 49 comments on the side where the community is really engaged in figuring out how the best way to design these programs are to reward public goods creators and grow the Optimism Collective. And so I'd love it if the town hall could provide a place where people can discuss things like these. People were saying, hey, it'd be great if we had more open discussions about how retro funding should be structured and who should be rewarded, and how we should do these different kinds of councils and stuff like that. So yeah, basically we're almost at the top of the hour, so I'm going to wrap it up here. But those are some of the ideas and the rationale, and go into more detail about it and how we can help out. I also put these parts about retro funding for anybody who's not familiar, who's just watching for the first time. Optimism Collective has devoted a lot of funding towards retroactively funding public goods, and that's something that Optimism Fractal is aiming to help with the respect gain. So we have a video more about this too, the various ways that both Optimism Fractal and the town hall can help with these processes. And then also just like a quick history that I might provide too. I hosted a show called Eden Town Hall for about a year. So there's some history around a year too, where we've been kind of curating both the town hall, the agenda and so forth. So aiming to bring a lot of the experience that I've had and that the Eden community has had, where we've been finding these processes and bringing these to the Optimism Collective as well. So we want to make like really well produced shows and so forth like that that can also help spread the word about optimism to the broader world, because still most people don't know about optimism, but it'd be super helpful for more people to know about it. So we'd love to make more shows and so forth. This is with the Eden Fractal community where we've been pioneering all these processes. So that is, there's one last thing I have on here, which is a project to create topics for Optimism Town Hall. So I started drafting some topics that we could discuss during Optimism Fractal Season 3. Previously, we were using a Notion database. We're working on ways that we can upload with respect in Notion. And that's a work in progress that, well, we've made quite a lot of progress. Actually, we don't have it yet, but we're going to make this more organized and doing it in snapshot for the current time. And I had some ideas about topics that we could potentially discuss. Like I just kind of went through all those different blog posts and saw what kinds of things that people were like asking for and so forth. So I kind of just like summarized it and worked with AI that to think of some potential questions that we can have. Obviously, anybody is welcome to propose a topic, but I also plan to just propose topics to help facilitate it as well throughout the season and upcoming seasons. So ideas of topics that we could discuss at Optimism Town Hall. Like, for example, right now the on-chain builders round is going on, so we could discuss how to best evaluate the impact of on-chain builders and what are the best metrics to weigh and measure and so forth, to evaluate and to help allocate funding, and how can the respect game be used to organize and enhance the efficiency of impact charities, since we're doing a very similar thing with breakout groups. What are the most effective metrics for assessing impact of governance actions within the collective? How should educators be funded and cultural leaders be funded? That's not in the scope of the current retro funding rounds. So there's a whole bunch of topics here basically that we can discuss, as well as, you know, future improvements, agendas, and so forth. This has been a long presentation, so maybe I'll wrap it up here, but I think that kind of conveys a little overview of everything I discussed. There's also the idea about the OPC token, but that's something we can discuss later too, make it where everybody else can vote. And this is all hosted kind of by Optimism Fractal right after the Respect game, so check out optimismfractal.com to learn more as well. I encourage everybody to join both the Optimism Fractal events on Thursdays at 17 UTC, and then right afterwards the Optimism Town Hall events on Thursdays at 18 UTC. I see if we can wrap it up in 8 time, but also happy to go a bit longer too. We'll try to be more punctual in the future. I see Jean had written that, has anyone here received RPGF, retro PGF funding at this point? And I don't know about Abraham and Hodlon and Zaal. So far, I see Abraham saying not yet. I hope so. That's also, by the way, one of the things that I wanted to do. One of the things I'm trying to do. I'm glad you brought that up for a couple of reasons. One of the things that I think is really helpful with the town hall is that I'd love to. One of the things we're working on is finding ways to fund Optimism Fractal community members who are contributing to the development of Optimism Fractal, and also provide a place where all public goods creators can help get promotion, networking, and also different benefits, so they can help earn funding too from with the assistance of Optimism Fractal. So I think that with Optimism Retro PGF round, or Retro Funding round 6 coming up in August, that's focused on governance. This town hall could also position Optimism Fractal community members and anybody who participates in town halls with a good position to help earn funding from that by contributing to Optimism Fractal governance too. So, for example, I don't know exactly how those will go yet, the application process, but they're doing impact juries, and people could have on their applications for retro funding that they participated in town hall, and that maybe they help lead some discussions, they propose topics. It's going to be a subjective process really to figure out how to allocate funding to that governance round. So the more we can help provide value to help design that governance round well, and then also enable people to get involved at the Fractal and town hall, that would be a great way to help more people get funding from retro funding with Optimism Fractal and Optimism Collective as a whole. And then to answer your question, just more simply, Gene, the Optimistics team has received retro PGF. So it was like a crazy time back when we first started Optimism Fractal, where we worked a lot, we were like really hard to promote it when I first started. And so the team, that's Rosmari, myself, and 2 great developers named Bundl and Das, we were able to receive some funding in retro PGF round 3, but we've mostly been just volunteering for the past several years. So we're aiming to earn a lot more funding so that we'll be able to do this more like consistently, have more like financial stability and so forth like that. So we received some funding, and we're very grateful for it. It was really huge because we were volunteering for a long time before that, and so now we're aiming to earn more funding for the Optimistic team, as well as everybody else who contributes to the Optimism Fractal and Optimism community. And we're at the top of the half hour now too. So my apologies if I went a bit too long there. Hopefully that wasn't too much at once. But I'm happy to stick around too if anyone wants to discuss it. Really want to hear some feedback. We could also wrap it up if anybody has to go, then feel free. But maybe we could keep going for a little bit longer if anyone wants to share any questions or comments, or we can always save the questions or comments for next week too, or in the Discord chat if you'd like to. But very curious to your thoughts. Abraham and Rosmari, thanks for the applause. And yeah, floor is open if anyone wants to share any thoughts now, or if you all wanted to wrap it up, then that happy to do so either way.
Yeah, I'm just amazed. This is like fabulous, fantastic. You guys have done such wonderful work. It's really impressive and really inspiring. So yeah, delighted to be taking part in seeing how this happens. Yeah, I have like 1,000 questions and 1,000 things to talk about, but I'm gonna go ahead and plow right into all what you've put down on the internet and see if I can't extrapolate some value, some information from that. But yeah, thank you for allowing me to participate today. It was really lovely.
Thank you so much, Gene. I really appreciate it, and you're very welcome, of course. Yeah, feel free to share. Feel free to share any questions or whenever you'd like. If you'd like to share them in the Discord chat, I think Rosmari shared a link above to that. And also, I see Rosmari shared a couple of links to the snapshot space and the Optimism governance article. There's also, I think in that Optimism governance article that Rosmari shared, you can find there you can find most of the links that I shared in the presentation now. So that would be a good place to start to do some research for wherever you want to dig into. But also if there's not there, we'll try to follow up with the show notes and have the links in the YouTube description and so forth. And are happy to provide any other links as well. And of course, we can always propose more topics in the future. So if you have any questions that you want to save for next week's event or whenever, then that would be much appreciated. I'm looking forward to hearing your questions, Gene, and helping out however much I can. Really appreciate all your kind words and interest so much, and I'm very much looking forward to collaborating with you and helping out where I can. Just make up the heart. Thank you very much. I think I'll have a bit of a heart before too. Anybody else have any other thoughts that you want to share now, or also I want to respect your time too. So if we want to wrap it up, then we can. I know there's a lot of information too, so we can always save it for next week and dive into these topics more in detail next week too. But if maybe does anything else you want to share, any questions, feel free, or any comments or feedback, we'd be happy to hear. Or if not, we can just wrap it up whenever, but just give me a signal if you do want to wrap it up.
Let's wrap it up.
I guess so.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thanks all so much. I don't know if there's anything you're going to say there, Abraham, so feel free if you did want to jump in, but otherwise we can wrap it up.
Yeah, I gotta jump back on some other stuff, but yeah, it was great to see you guys again, and it's always so inspiring just to see all the things that are going on, and just I don't know, it's almost like I don't know, just a cool friend group.
Yeah, likewise. All right, well, thanks so much. I'm very honored to be your friend, Abraham, as well as everybody's here. And Gene's the second. Delighted to have found you all. Delighted to find you too, Gene. I hope you'll join us again next week. And hope everyone will join us again next week. Really excited for the next Optimism Fractal event at 17 UTC next Thursday, and Optimism Town Hall event too. If anybody has a topic that you want to propose, then propose that in the snapshot space, snapshot.org/#/optimismfractal.eth or optimismtownhall.eth rather. And there we go. We're also going to put out a proposal for a registration poll for anybody who wants to participate in the Optimism Fractal Council too. So encourage you to join the Discord and sign up there if you want to participate, and check out the videos and so forth at optimismfractal.com to learn more. Looking forward to seeing you at the next event. Thanks all so much. Really appreciate it so much, Abraham and Rosmari and Gene and Hodlon and Zaal and everybody who's watching. We often wrap it up with a 3, 2, 1, go Optimism Fractal. So I think we can do that now. And
Okay.
we see lots of emojis. Love to see it. And 3,
3,
2,
2,
1, 0.
Go.
Go.
Go, Optimism Fractal. Woo!
All right. Thanks all so much, and see you next time.
Bye.